Hi everyone, I'm Boba Jonathan. Hope everyone is doing well. I know it's been a couple of weeks since my last video, but I thought I would do one today talking about how is everyone affording going on any cruises, right? I'm talking like in the short term window. So short term being like if you want to go now, right? It's mid-July and you want to go July, August, September, and maybe October, right? So if you book a cruise now, you have to pay the full and final payment is due right away within 90 days of the sailing. Sometimes if you're booking suites or specialty premium cabins, they're due even closer in 120 days. So how are you guys affording cruises right now? I'd love to know. Write it in the chat box, in the text box below. I'd love to know how people are affording cruises, because according to any of the cruise lines websites, if you go on Celebrity, if you go on Royal, if you go on Carnival, Norwegian, etc., the cruises are full and people are paying the prices. So today's video will be about how do you get a good value during this time, right? Because people are paying it, right? Somehow, I don't know how, but people are paying it, right? Everyone's situation is different. If you're married, if you're a couple and you're traveling together, right, your cabin total is based on 2 people. For the most part, when I travel, I'm usually solo, so I'm paying 150 to 175% single supplement. So I'm paying as if someone was traveling with me, if not more, right? So today's video will be a quick video talking about how do you get that deal and how do you stretch your dollar as much as you can, especially during these times, because I'll be honest with you, these times that we're in right now, they suck. Everything is just so expensive. But when you look at things that are like something that you want to do as to go on vacation, people are paying the prices and the ships are full. So looking at ideas of how you be creative and having your dollar go a little bit further for you, and looking at how do you get good deals. So for example, Alaska, right? If you look on any website doing Alaska within the next 2 or 3 months, right? So the Alaska season, I think, goes to about the end of September, and then we don't want to go to Alaska anymore. The cruise lines are repositioning their ships to come either to the Panama Canal, transit, and then go back to the Caribbean or wherever else they'll cruise over the winter season. Alaska's expensive. But there is kind of a trick. If you do not a round-trip cruise, so a round-trip cruise would be Vancouver to Vancouver or Seattle to Seattle. If you do like Seward to Vancouver or Seward to Seattle, those cruises are usually like half the price of what you'll pay round-trip from Vancouver to Seattle. Does that make sense? So if you pick up the cruise in Seward and you go end the cruise in Seattle, those cruises will be sometimes $300, $400, $500 less than doing a Seattle round trip or a Vancouver round trip. Why is it cheaper? I think people really like to do the round trips out of Seattle and the round trips out of Vancouver, and the airfare is probably better to get round trip out of Seattle or Vancouver. So if you do airfare out of, say, Seward, and then you do one way out of Seward and then one way out of Vancouver, Seattle, you're probably going to spend a little bit more money, but the cruise will be cheaper. Does that make sense? Let me know if you have any questions about that. Has anyone heard of the new, well, they're not a new cruise line, but they're relatively new, the Margaritaville at Sea Islander, right? So this ship debuted, I think, June 8th, June 12th, so a little bit less than 3 weeks ago. Margaritaville Islander, which was the old Costa Atlantica. She was, I think, laid up since COVID, and Margaritaville at Sea purchased her. They refurbished the ship, and the ship's been getting very good reviews. I have sailed on the old ship, which was it used to be called was it the Celebration? I was on the Celebration about 6-7 years ago. So it was an interesting experience. It was a 2-night cruise out of the port of Palm Beach. It was a fun 2 nights. I'll leave it at that. Now, the Islander is giving opportunities for people to go on longer cruises than 2 nights. I think the shortest cruises are 4. They do 4 and 5 night cruises out of the port of Tampa, right over here. And in the wintertime, they'll be doing the line's first ever 6 and 7 night cruises. So if you're looking for sort of a budget getaway and you don't want to pay Carnival Royal or Carnival Royal Norwegian prices, they do have some very intriguing prices. And most of the reviews, if you want to, look on YouTube and look at a margarita at Sea Islander, the reviews have been very favorable. The videos that I've been watching show very positive light of good dining room food. Buffet food, not so much, but the dining room food, very good. And they did a really good job on the renovation of the ship. Remember, the ship is 24 years old, so they did do an extensive renovation, but you can tell that there's areas of the ship that they did not touch. But the cabins were refreshed, and it has great Margaritaville at Sea theming. So you have the Alaska cruises that are not round trip out of Vancouver or Seattle. You have the Margaritaville at Sea Islander you could do out of Tampa, which I'm looking at it potentially. I would recommend going on Islander over the other ship that is in the port of Palm Beach. I would definitely try it. I recommend it based on the videos that I've been watching. And look at repositioning cruises. So repositioning cruises are similar to cruises like Alaska that don't stop or end in the same port. So a good opportunity would be, say, we have maybe transatlantics coming up in October, November. We need to bring the ships back from Europe over to the Caribbean so they could have their Caribbean season. Cruises out of like Rome or Southampton, England, over here to Florida or up to New York, to New Jersey. Those cruises will be at a significantly lower rate than doing, say, a European itinerary or a Mediterranean itinerary, go Baltic itinerary. Those cruises will be longer. The repositioning cruises are usually transatlantics. They will be a lot less, and you usually only need to get airfare one way. So look at repositioning transatlantic cruises, Panama Canal cruises in the beginning of the season that are doing one way, either from, say, California to Florida or Florida to California. You can get decent, 14, 15 night cruises maybe for $1,500, $1,600. And to me, that's a good deal. If you can get a 2-week cruise for between the ranges of $15, maybe even up to $2,000, I would consider that good. So this is just a quick video or recap of how you can get a good deal right now. If you're looking to book Caribbean for the summer, it's expensive. If you're looking to go to Europe, you might find something, but the airfare, I've been looking, the airfare to get over to, say, Rome or Greece, it's $2,000 plus your cruise fare. So I think everyone wants to be smart with their money. Everyone is looking for that deal. They are out there. The deals are out. They are out there. You just have to be flexible in your dates. And obviously, a lot of people don't get a lot of vacation time, so they want to make the most of it. And you want to get the best bang for your buck. So this is On Board with Jonathan, giving you the tips and tricks of the trade on how to get a good cruise deal, because there are not a lot, but you have to kind of be flexible in what you're looking for. And if you like the longer cruises like me, I love the longer cruises. So for me, anything more than 10 nights, I love it. 12 nights, 14 nights, 15 nights, I love long cruises. So if you have the flexibility within your job or you're retired, look at transatlantics, look at repositioning cruises, look in September, October, Pacific coastal cruises out of California or Vancouver. They go up the California coast. Those usually have some really good fares. But if you're looking for Alaska, the Mediterranean, the Baltic, or Europe this summer, I think you kind of missed out. Unless you are doing very well and you have all that disposable income, you might want to look at Europe, the Baltic, and the Mediterranean and Alaska cruises for next year. Look now for next year and get those prices locked in, right? So if you put a deposit now for, say, Alaska for next year, and you have you're so far out, you're a year out. If the prices change, you could always have your travel agent or the cruise line reprice the cabin for you, and you could do a lot of things before actual final payment. So if you have any questions about repricing, repositioning cruises, how to do Alaska cheap in this summer 2024, questions about Margaritaville at Sea Islander, let me know. I'll be happy to answer any questions for you. I'm trying to remain positive with YouTube. This is it takes some time to think of creative videos out there because it's a very competitive marketplace. So if I can ask you so much to like, comment, share the video, subscribe. Nothing to lose but getting great tips from a cruise expert that's been on 55 plus cruises, cruising since I was 14 years old. So with that, I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're returning, thanks so much for returning. Welcome back. With that, I wish you a wonderful rest of your weekend. This is On Board with Jonathan out.